In this episode, we host Chef Fred for a podcast. We sat down, we tried to meditate, but we couldn't get there. But we talk about Barangay and Palay and his mission to elevate Filipino cuisine in Melbourne. We talk about his other initiatives to bring mental health awareness in the Filipino chef community and in hospitality as well. So join in, listen, and we are back. I don't think we can do a meditation at this rate.
I can't breathe. I was like, find your breath. I was like, I can't breathe. I'm stopping my breath.
Okay, so look, let's start in a different way, right?
Okay,
I invite you to place both of your feet on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And finding your seated posture and putting your awareness into your feet where your ankles sit and following that up the chain from the ankles to the knees to where your hips are as well. In yoga, there's a concept of stira and sukha, which means strength as well as ease.
You know what sukha means in Tagalog? It means vomit. I'm just letting you know.
All right.
Okay. Serious sukha?
So finding a sense of strength and ease. Sitting up when you're finding strength in your spine to give you strength. And just follow my voice and the cues. You don't have to respond back as well. So finding an ease, I can see that it's maybe sitting a little tense right now. Find where you can relax just 10% more. 10% more in your current state and in how you're resting. And taking this small moment to observe your breathing in the nose and out of the nose or mouth.
Yep.
I don't think this is gonna work.
Hey, I'm giving it a shot, okay? I've never been good at meditation anyway.
So how do you find meditation then? How do you practice ways where you flow?
Oh, the thing is, like, I think my way of meditation it's a complete opposite of like being at peace. It needs to be more of a chaotic sense. So for me to focus in any way, like regardless of what I'm doing, there's always gonna be like either a background sound, that's something loud, or like it's either a movie or music. It has to be something that's like something on top of the things that I'm doing. So to me, that gives me focus. Whereas like if you make me focus like silently like this, I tend to be like confused, I think. But then I keep trying. But yeah, I mean, I am still closing my eyes, kind of. The camera can see everything. That's a lie.
That's all right.
I was speaking. I know you can.
What the hell, Jasper? Oh man, this is gonna be a fun one. This is gonna be a fun one to say the least.
You basically just like got caught in the camera, Fred. This is what you don't do, guys. Mindfulness doesn't work this way. Please don't copy it.
Well, the thing with mindfulness is you find it in your own way, right? So in a traditional sense, and on this podcast, I'm just sharing what I've explored and I've learnt along the way, which is mindfulness meditation, essentially. And what that allowed us to do was all get on the same page when the lights are on, the cameras are rolling, and we just sit at ease and we start at a place where we can become more open in our conversations
It's like
as
an
well.
equal playing field.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because when the cameras are rolling, you do get nervous sometimes as well.
Do I?
Not you? Okay, that's fine.
No, I think it's like I do get nervous in cameras sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think it's because I know you guys a little bit more, so I
Yeah.
don't feel as stressed.
Yeah.
Whereas
yeah,
like
yeah.
if it's something like every time I'm on a TV show or like another interview that's new and
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with them, I tend to over prepare myself.
Yeah.
But with you guys, I'm just like,
So you're on SBS recently. Tell us about your ventures there. Why were you on SBS? What were you talking about?
oh, it was because of this Filipino Independence Day. It was on the 12th of June. It was a collaboration with celebrity chefs. Chef Lau, basically, they were like the master chef judges
Oh, yeah.
back in the Philippines.
Right.
And
MasterChef Philippines.
MasterChef Philippines. And we just got, like, it was a way to promote the Flavors of Freedom, which was a two-part event. So the first day was ours on the 12th itself.
Yeah.
And there was another one on the 13th with the other chefs as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So we were just there to, like, really talk about, like, why we're doing things and, Chef Lau and Chef Jack coming to Melbourne to do this project with us as well, and also like to really showcase who we are as chefs who are actually pushing for Filipino cuisine here in Melbourne. So it was that interview. It was just like basically going in there, discussing things. It was really fun. It was just like I think we were all like in the same page of what we want to achieve with this one, was to like make people know about Filipino food, but also know how to do it in a modern sense, not just in a traditional sense too. So that way people can have more fun with it.
Yeah. Okay. Look, I've known you for 2 years now, and
2 years too long.
but Filipino food is not on many people's consciousness, not on their radar. But you're trying to. No, I can see that you've got this something inside of you that's wanting to promote Filipino food and bring it and elevate it. Really. So combining traditional flavors into your fine dining presentations and way of service.
It's not even fine dining, but it's
It
also
isn't?
like,
Okay.
but it's, I think you could say that it's almost close to it. We don't want to say it's fine dining because it's, I think you're just using the right ingredients, the right preparation, and the right, not the right way, but the best way I could think of to present it to everybody. Because like when you look at the food that we were making, especially for Palay, let's say, the food doesn't look like it's Filipino, because you wouldn't really think that it is. Not until like
Okay.
you see a description where it's like, oh, there's adobo sauce in it, but it's on a
Right.
kingfish and all these things.
Uh-huh.
Or like, it's bulalo, but it has a bone marrow in it, Components are there, but it's just a matter of like how we present it to people. So it becomes a bit more of a common ground as well, so that people don't feel too like, oh wait, how do I eat this, or what is this? You make them known to the ingredients and make them feel familiar, but also like you're introducing something new to them.
Yeah.
They just don't know it,
Okay.
kind of.
So you've created 2 brands since I've known you from the start, right? Tell us
Yes.
about Barangay and then Palay and how the 2 brands have been created by you on your journey in your times to create and upscale and elevate Filipino food. Tell us more about that.
Oh, well, it started 2021. This was like, after COVID, 2020, we had like the massive COVID lockdowns and everything. And I started working for a burlesque bar. And being like involved with people who are creatives,
Yeah.
and they're so supportive. The owner's name was Poppy, and the venue manager's name was Whiskey. These are all of their, this is like basically the artist names.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were the one who encouraged me to do like a Filipino night. And I was like, it was around June, July. And I was like, oh, maybe I could. And then it started going to the back of my head because I've been sitting on Barangay as a bar and restaurant, kind of like business plan. But I'd never thought it's going to be like something I could execute on a pop-up level, because I thought it was impossible. It's too much cost and whatnot. But, Poppy said to me, hey, you could use this venue take care of the kitchen side. I'll take care of the front. Use this on the day that you need to use it. You have access to the venue.
Yeah.
So you could literally just come in whenever you need to do rehearsals and whatnot. And then I started building upon it. It was supposed to be like a course meal. 3 courses, that's it. You know, nothing too complicated, easy stuff. And then I started thinking, oh, August is coming, and that's like Buwan ng Wika, which is the month of language. That's when the cultural thing happens in the Philippines. And I was like, oh, maybe I could include some performances.
Yeah.
And I did. I just included performances into it. And then I started thinking, oh, maybe I could add in some fashion show into it.
Yeah,
so I
right.
got to a point where I was talking to a designer, Tita Lillian, and then she basically like, all right, yeah, I'll dress up everybody and do these things and stuff. And we ended up doing the entire thing. And when I bought, it got canceled.
Got cancelled.
Or at least
During
delayed.
lockdown.
It got
Lockdowns.
Yeah, because August, that time we got into a lockdown. And it took like 3 months to 4 months. And then it was supposed to happen in December. But then COVID was still on. So people was getting COVID. So I couldn't really book in performers properly and stuff. So we ended up doing it in January, like the end of January. And it was the height of COVID. I was so worried because I was like, fudge.
Super spreader event.
Can't really, like, you know, please let us finish this. It's the first one. It was nerve-wracking. It was a lot of things because, like, the expectation is different. Mostly for my end. I think I didn't really care about what people thought about the entire thing. It was like what I thought of it because, like, it means so much to me. And prior to that, we were getting a lot of media attention regarding the event.
Yeah, okay.
You know, we were published for like the Herald Sun. We got published for Philippine Times. We got published in Manila Standards in the Philippines.
Right.
Got interviewed by CNN Philippines, and you have like ABS-CBN as well. So it got like to a point where like a lot of media going onto it. So I was like, fuck, beep that. We'll just beep that. And then we're just like continuing it, and I'm like, okay, I just need to make it happen. And it happened for the first time. It was surreal. It was a lot of hard work. I can tell you, it's like, it's like a lot of hours. And during that time, the bar that was doing the event in decided that they would close because it was like, you know, COVID really did mess up the business. And it was hard for them to choose either the dance school and the restaurant together. So they have to choose either or.
Yeah.
And they were not to be like a dance school first before a restaurant. So they let go of the restaurant. And the time that I was doing it, we were already told like it was going to be closed. So we were pushing. We were really pushing.
Yeah.
So February was like our last month. And I was happy that I was able to do that there for the last time.
For the first and last time.
First and last. Yeah. In that space.
In that space.
But then I was able to do it 3 more times after that. But it was in a different venue. And I think it worked out quite well because like the format changed. It became more of a canapé degustation type. Whereas it was before, it was like a 3-course sit down. And it worked well for the function that we had because it became more cocktail related. People were standing, people were like drinking. So it was a bit more fun. Same formula, performances, fashion show. And then at the end of it, the last one that we did, we had artworks into it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then it was more involved and whatnot. And it's a lot of showcasing of culture in one night. I think that's the main point of it. Like, if you're not Filipino and you want to know about it, those are the kind of events that you would want to go for.
Yeah.
It's not big enough to make it into a fiesta, but it's big enough for you to come in, let's say 70 packs completely, but you're able to like see
and immerse yourself
in
the culture, not just cuisine, but through fashion, through music.
Yeah. So it's like an overall thing because even the drinks we make, like we have specialized cocktails on the night that we would like showcase people. We have mocktails, like drinks that are from the Philippines, you know. So that way people can actually just like go through the entire ride.
Yeah.
And it's like a fun one too. And that's the moment where I'm usually not inside the kitchen. I'm usually outside hosting. Not in the sense of holding the microphone, but I would sometimes go to the stage to perform if I have to. But it's just like really saying hi to people. Are you having fun?
Yeah.
You want more drinks? Do you need more stuff? You know, and then just like, are you like interested in something? Do I need to explain something to you? Or like, do you want me to like work around the entire thing. Because like some people will come in, they're like, whoa, what's happening?
Yeah, what the hell's going on?
But that's why we have a host, like a proper host.
Yeah.
An MC.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's usually like Trey, Carlo. His name is like Trey Frenchie in like burlesque name, but his name is Carlo. He's usually the guy that go for like, you know, making sure that the flow is going. Pretty fun. And Jasper has been to it thrice, I think. Yes. He's been to like the second one, and then he got to the Christmas one, and then the third last one.
So tell me about the name of Barangay. When I was in the Philippines last, I would see barangay halls around the place.
Barangay means small village, and in the Philippines it's like sections. It's like basically how you say council here.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like the same thing, but council here spreads a bit bigger.
A bit wider, yeah.
It's wider, where barangay it's on a smaller scale.
Okay.
So you get to like barangay San Jose or something, and then you just have different sections of barangay, and even one city too.
Yeah.
Like you'll get to like maybe Parañaque, and there's like 100 barangays.
Right.
You know.
So a meeting place for people, for local people, barangay hall is the place, the meeting place, and what would you do there?
You would do everything. Like basically for barangays, it's the same way where if there's an event, they would do like fiestas there, they would do like all the celebrations there, and you would say in barangay this one they're doing this, in barangay this one they're doing that. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's the community itself.
Yeah. So from the start, it sounds like you were encouraged by your manager or some other people to showcase Filipino culture.
They've just believed. They basically believe in me personally, in anything that I do. Yeah. Usually, I'm the first one to doubt myself in anything that I do. I'm not the best supporter of myself. Sometimes I'm actually the worst enemy of myself as well. And I would always like, you know, either tell myself off, or at least like break down the entire concept. You know, if people are getting hard on me, I'm harder on myself.
Yeah, of course.
So usually that's the case. But they were like, you know, just do it. You know, just make it happen. You know, and I did, and it was just a lot of support from everybody, and it was great. You know, like just being able to do something that big and have people believe in you, because I really needed that. And you know, with that concept as well, it sparked a lot of like cultural push for me, because like at that time we didn't have restaurants like Sirai or Askal that year. It happened the next year. You know, and generally like pushing for Filipino food even at that time was hard, because even our own community doesn't not that they don't support it, they're interested in it, but you know, they will always have ways to say, hey, I can do this here and like this, and like, you know, yeah, you could do it at home 100%, but you're going out for the experience. You're not just dining in to cook, like get home cooked meals. You're getting food cooked by professionals, and also at the same time you're getting into like a performance. You're getting into this, you know, cultural experience that is not usual for any events in Melbourne, and you're paying for that whole thing. And sometimes people don't understand that. They think they just are paying for the food, they're just paying for the drinks, but in essence though, it's not like. And also in the end of it, like, we're doing this not for profit, because that's not, if it was for profit, the tickets will be much expensive, like higher. And you know, it's more for the community aspect. It's also for me as well to see how the community that I can build on here, because there's a lot of Filipino communities in the community itself,
of course.
And I think there's just a lot of separations as well. So I tend to like, I just want to have fun.
Okay, so going through the creation of Barangay version 1, event number 1, so I can sense there was a lot of imposter syndrome with you as well, but the encouragement of people around you, good people, to lift you up, to support you, that really allowed you to push past that imposter syndrome. So what did you learn from after the very first one, right? It's always hardest to start. What did you learn from that, and how did you bring that into your next few iterations of Barangay as well?
I think it's when you have a concept in mind, just jump. No matter how low, no matter how high, jump.
Jump
like,
is in leap of faith.
leap of faith. You have to risk everything into doing what you need to do because that's all we need. Like as you said, you just have to get started, right? Even if it's perfect or not perfect, because not most of the time it's not gonna be perfect.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure.
Like what perfect for you isn't gonna be the same level of perfect for others, but at the same time, what you think is imperfect is perfect for other people. So there's always that kind of contradictions between you and your customers or like your guests.
Yeah.
So just do it. It's Nike. Hi Nike. Just do it.
Yeah.
And just improve and just keep going and just keep trying. Cause like whenever I have something in my head, I would always say, I'm not a writer. So why would I write a song? I'm not really a professional singer, so why would I sing? And then I would go, I'm not really a bartender, but why would I make cocktails, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you just have to do it, but also remember the lane that you're good at as well.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
like, I think I understood from the very beginning that my creativity is my actual tool. The outlet I was choosing to relay my creativity was through food, because that's my main profession,
Yeah.
being a chef and whatnot. But creativity is vast,
Yeah.
so you could actually just utilize that
Absolutely.
and just maybe refine it and also learn certain things that works well in that lane. Of course, I can't go over the hill and actually become an architect all of a sudden, right? It's impossible. It takes years, and then you have to learn all of these things. But you have to start minuscule. You have to start somewhere.
Small steps.
And then
Small
if
baby
you
steps.
feel like you can manage to do more, then you increase your load. And to me, I think that's been the learning curve from the first one. Just
Okay.
really like start from there. What worked, what didn't work. I changed the format to, as I said, degustation canapé time. It's more cocktail, not
Yeah.
a sit down. So we were able to increase the quantity of guests that we've had. We're
Yeah,
able
right.
to do more than just making them focus on one thing. Then throughout the years, we've been adding more and more like sponsors or like more collaborations into it, and it became more fun.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole point of it, like making like the goal of it was to like bring the community together, or at least a certain community to start.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, there was a lot more people involved, and the connections was growing a bit bigger, and generally it was just really fun. Like, as much as I would say like it's exhausting, it is. The last one was like Christmas, and the worst thing that was ever to happen was I had COVID.
You had COVID.
I had COVID before the event. And on the day, I got negative. And I started like 7 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
to prepare for this. And then literally throughout the day, I was finishing until like 11.
PM.
And I just started. Like I just finished COVID, but also at the same time, it always stays. You always feel like, you're dying and stuff. I was pushing myself in Nurofen.
Popping Nurofen to get you through the day.
In between.
Yeah.
In between, you can see me running around, serving guests, entertaining people. It was a lot of work, but people don't know that. They don't know that. I'm just like smiling, like, how are you? Welcome to Barangay. Welcome to Tambayan Pasko. Which seat are you? Can I sit you here? It was a lot of those things, but that was the last Barangay event so
Yeah.
far. And then I moved into like doing Palay. And that's a recent one.
So what inspired you to go from Barangay into Palay? Because you mentioned you started Barangay with a sit-down service, 3-course meal, but you would add on the entertainment side of things. But with Barangay, you were floating around, you were mixing and mingling and out in the open. But from what I've seen with Palay, you're in the kitchen, you're in the back, you're serving food, you're plating up, you're running the service behind.
I mean, the thing is like, I think it was a moment of like showcasing myself as a chef, because like most of the time, people think I'm a barista. Apparently, I look like a barista. When you meet me, I look like a barista. I don't look like a chef. Maybe because I'm too talkative. And then I'm way too nice, I think. So they think I'm not a chef,
Yeah.
which is really funny. I'm like, okay, fair enough. I see it. Maybe it's the haircut. I don't know.
Well, in your Instagram stories, you're posting pictures of onion coffees and your latte art every morning.
Because I'm practicing, bro.
Uh-huh.
That's what you call practice and determination. Sometimes I would get it right. It would look
Yeah.
like a heart. Sometimes.
Yeah.
It would look like a butt sometimes. But yeah, no, I think with Palay, it was more like just wanting to focus on the food and drinks.
Yeah.
Whereas like
Yeah.
a barangay is like a full celebration.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why it's an event rather
Gotcha.
than a restaurant. You know, it's not a restaurant per se. It's a whole like, it's more entertainment. It's more encouraging you to know several factors
Yeah.
of the culture. But then for Palay, it's really just about the food and about the drinks. And I think that's where my focus is at the moment. I just wanted to do something that's easier for me to do than barangay. Don't get me wrong, barangay is still something that I would want to keep going towards too. But I do want to have like a little bit of a wee break because at the same time, I can't do both at the same time.
Okay.
If I do them both, I think there's going to be like a mix into it and be like confusing for some people. But for me, it's just like at the moment, food and stuff has done me well.
Yeah.
So I just want to keep going and then, you know, prepare for the next season, which is spring.
So what's the vision of Palay? What does Palay mean?
Palay means unhusked rice. And because rice is life, that's where you go. You can't really say anything wrong with that. And then, you know, I think the name itself is like, it's very Filipino. And it's nothing too complicated. It's
Yeah.
one word. And you think, oh, yeah, rice. Because you're Filipino.
Well, I'm Vietnamese, all right?
Yeah,
And
you're
rice
right.
is still life.
Exactly.
Whenever I eat rice or even noodles, it's just the food of our people.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's also like a combined thing for Southeast Asia. Asians in general. Not Southeast Asians. Asians in general.
Including India
Including
as well.
India, yeah, where you have rice as
Yeah.
one of your staples to have. And to me, that says a lot
Yeah.
to like what we want to do at Compass in Palay, because at the end of the day, we just want to give you good food with rice. You know, we will always have rice.
Hells yeah. I'd be sad if we don't have rice.
Man, I almost thought about it one time and I realized, yeah, steak and rice would go well.
I remember we shot an episode of Dishes and Dialogue.
Yeah.
We cooked adobo
Without rice.
without rice.
We don't have a rice cooker. Oh no, Richard had the rice cooker.
But you could see throughout the episode I was asking for rice. I was
Yeah.
hinting it.
Yeah.
And there was no rice. We ate adobo without rice. I was a bit sad.
Well, we could have asked for rice. It was an Asian household.
I did ask for rice.
But they don't know where the rice is. Is it my house? Of course not. It was our first episode.
So tell me about Dishes and Dialogue. How did the concept enter your head? You've always wanted to do a cooking show, right?
I've always wanted to do one, yes. Because I
Yeah.
thought, you know, it's going to be fun. But I thought it was like, I want it to be like a cooking show that discusses stuff.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like if we were doing something, like we're just catching up and we're learning along the way. Like the main focus is to really like do things together, but also showcase the food that we're showing. And it started, actually, the funny thing is like Jasper, Alyssa, Elliot, and I met in the Philippines.
Yeah,
Coincidentally, we were staying in the same area too.
Yeah, right.
And also we're going to the same island. We were going to Palawan and Lido and everything. And then Jasper and I started talking. And we were like, oh, you know, we should do something. We should do something. You know?
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was going to be like the OKIRU podcast again. Like doing this, sitting down with you guys,
Yeah.
having a chat, having a laugh.
Yeah.
And then I floated the idea to him, say, hey, you reckon you'll be keen to do like something more like a cooking show setup and everything? And for some reason, just pieced together. And then we started like brainstorming and having meetings with you guys. And then we did like the first episode unscripted. Nothing was scripted. I don't even know how we survived that episode.
I don't know how we did that either,
Yeah.
but it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun.
So it started from there, and then like just having the right time and the right people come into place. Because like it's generally a passion project, right?
Yeah,
Like, if
yeah.
I wanted this to be something to be like, you know, like produce, I would have to hire people, and I'm broke. So say that to yourself. I'm broke, so don't spend unnecessary stuff. Remind yourself. check your bank account. Anyways, I'm checking my bank account.
So what was your vision for Dishes and Dialogue at the same time? I know it's like the child of all of us, right? Coming together and thinking about what we could do, but it was completely unscripted. We just wanted to cook adobo. That was the only goal. Cook adobo and then see what happens.
I think it's like, for me, the goal of Dishes is to just have fun.
Yeah.
While learning a culture.
True.
It doesn't have to be Filipino. It can be Vietnamese. We showed some Vietnamese stuff.
Yeah.
And it could be any culture that's underrepresented, I reckon. Like, I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Or if it's represented enough, then we just do a little bit of it. Because it's all about learning, right? And experiencing it for yourself. Like, you're not a professional chef, as we could already see in the episodes. But it's all right. I'm waiting for my friends to grill you even more.
Yeah.
Like, but you know what? It's okay. But it's you see like for yourself, you're learning how to do it.
Definitely.
Except for the bit that he doesn't know how to cut onions. I'm just letting you guys know. The clip is down below. But yeah, no, I think it's just a matter of those things. Like, we are not all chefs. We are not all cooks. But at some point in our lives, we want to learn things. Like, COVID was a good example. Everybody was making sourdough bread all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Everybody was making something at home because we're bored. But at the same time, it just allows you to, like, give yourself a routine as well. Because I think cooking is also, like, one of those things where, like, if you go to the gym, same thing. You just go to the supermarket, you buy stuff, and then you do, like, a routine.
Well, it's because you go to the gym, you do good things, right? You want to build muscle, you want to lose weight. And the meal afterwards, you want that to be nourishing. You want that to replenish your muscles. You want to do added good, right? So that you don't want to go Macca's after the gym because you will undo all the hard work that you've done. So it's reinforcing good behaviors.
I can't really judge people going to Macca's because I love Macca's. But also, probably not. Just letting you know. Anyways, I think learning how to cook is essential for us as we grow older as well, because like it changes, like when you're starting from a kid, I feel like I'm for example, for myself, I'm more materialistic before. I would want the new phone, or I would want new clothes, I would want all of these things, whereas like you grow old and you just want to have a good meal, you just want to have like a new appliance that can clean your house, new plates and new mugs. I'm old.
But tell me a bit more about sharing the cuisines of unrepresented cultures, right? Because Filipino food is definitely under the radar and not on people's consciousness. And why is it that you want to elevate it? What about Filipino food? I understand that you grew up in the culture and there's this growing movement, as you described with Sarai and Askal. Tell me about them. What are they doing and how are you fitting into elevating Filipino cuisine in Melbourne, really?
Well, basically, I've been here almost 10 years now. Moved here when I was 19. I just turned 19 and everything.
Yep.
And, like someone who's young and everything, you can't really feel like comfortable in the country that you're in. It was exciting for the first 3 months, and then you slowly feel homesick and whatnot.
Okay.
So I started cooking Filipino food. I started cooking my adobos, my arroz caldo, making my own bread, pandesal, basically. Oh, pandesal. Are you getting trauma? Anyways, it started from that. And then, I started becoming professionally known to be a chef or a cook here in Melbourne. And all of my chef friends will always ask me, hey, you're Filipino, right? Yeah. I question myself sometimes because I'm always, people always say you're either Indo, Malay, Thai. So which is really, really like, Singaporean sometimes. I'm like, do I sound like that? Anyways, but they always ask me, where's the best place to eat Filipino food? And I always think, is there some? Because I don't know as well. Okay. I would actually find out that's on the far west, like here in Sunshine. I forgot. Lutong Pinoy, I think that was the name of the restaurant before.
Yep.
And it changed to something else. I can't remember anymore.
Okay.
And then I couldn't really recommend anything because I don't know as well.
Yeah.
So I would always say, I could cook it for you guys, you know. I could just make it for you guys. We could have dinner and whatnot. And then that started it.
Yeah.
And when people keeps asking you where to go and you don't know where to say, like where to go then, it's hard. And then as I go into it, there was one restaurant like in West Footscray, Chibog.
Chibog,
But
okay.
they just recently closed.
Did they?
Yeah.
Why?
Janine, the owner, needed time to take care of her family first and
Right.
focus on the family, which is fair. You know, they've been operating for years now, and they had a good run. They were one of the first restaurants I would always say, "Hey, go to this one." Or I've discovered the ones in Footscray, a hole in the wall. You could just go into it. And then at the time, the earlier times were like GJ's. They had it in the city, like near the market, Queen Victoria Market.
Yeah.
So I would recommend that. But you know, it evolves and people kept asking and asking. And you're just like,
There's a trend.
there's a trend to it. And people actually want it. But then I remember working for this Mediterranean restaurant before it closed down as well. The owner told me, there's no place for Filipino food in Melbourne. That was the verbatim. That was like actually what he told me. And I was like, middle finger. Think of the middle finger. Anyways. He told that, and I was like, I felt challenged.
Like he was taking a stab at you
Yeah.
and your culture and your people.
But also, like, it's more like, you know what? I'm gonna show you that it can work,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It took me years. I started building the business plan for Barangay first, and it was like a dream to make it happen. I did fall into like bad partnerships in a sense because I
Right.
was young, I was naive. You know, I just thought if I said yes to these people and they say they're gonna back me up, it will happen. They didn't, and it was just a lot of terms. But I've learned from that mistake.
Yeah.
And then as time goes by, I was able to like find my way into it with Barangay and Palay. And now Filipino food is starting to have like a little bit of a leg in
It's
Melbourne.
time.
Yeah, and then that's where Sirai comes in. It started with Sirai first, and it had the wave of things. But with Sirai, it's a mix as well.
Tell me about Sarai.
Because Ross I think he's Indo-Filipino. So his culture is mixed with that.
Yeah.
So he had those two things combined, and he represented
Alright.
it in a way in this like, it's not too fuzzy. When you look at the food, it's like it's simple. Like
What do you mean by fuzzy? Fuzzy food.
I would say like there's too much going on the plate. Like it's almost close. Like if you're like people are starting to digress from like overly like creative food.
Yeah.
I would say, if that's that way. Like not creative in a bad way, but it's just too much.
Too
things
much going
yeah.
on.
Where people
Senses
want
overload.
Yeah, senses overload. You just want something simple. Like you would want a beautiful steak with a sauce and maybe an oil
Yeah.
and maybe a salt flake or something. But the sauce is different. You know, people want that at the moment. They want simplicity now. They don't want to be like doing this mental juggle in their head and trying to learn all of these things in one night. They just want to eat good food. And I think that started with Sarai, and then they did really well. They had the hat.
Yeah.
They were featured in MasterChef too. And
Okay.
then along the way, before that, you have Cariton.
The ice cream.
Sorbetes, the ice cream.
Yeah.
So it represented Filipino flavors for that dessert-wise.
Yeah.
And they did really well. They started in lockdown, actually. We had their first, they were doing an ordering system.
Yeah.
And they would sold out. They would sell out really fast. And
Yeah.
my sister at the time, she was just watching the website so that we could order like a few tubs.
Yeah, yeah.
And we did, and it was well. And then they opened, and it became good. Like now they have multiple shops everywhere. And the same owner, Kuya John, opened up Askal.
So same owner of Cariton is Ascal.
Yes.
Okay.
And now they have a restaurant. Now
Yeah.
Askal is a bit more on the fine dining scene, but it's just really showcasing Filipino food in a different manner. Because like what they're doing is like they're using the ingredients they can here to use here, and also like concepts that are like similar to Filipino food, but just techniques are different. Presentation is
Okay.
different.
Yeah.
A good example would be like their mushroom arroz caldo, which is usually for arroz caldo, it's chicken porridge, but they did mushroom instead.
Okay.
You know, so there's a lot of play going on, and now Filipino food is becoming a little bit, showcase
Yeah.
in Melbourne and also in other states too. In Sydney, there's Takam
Mm-hmm.
and Tita Carinderia, and then in Perth, there's Luma. Um, and I don't know about the other states. I'm pretty sure there's other Filipino restaurants
Mhm.
there too, but those are the names that are like making a little bit
Yeah.
more waves throughout Filipino food movement, basically.
And where does Palay fit into the ecosystem, if you will?
I mean, Palay, I think, fits in the entire scene completely because everyone's doing the same, almost similar thing. I would say like the way that we showcase our food is like the same level of everyone else's. We're not trying to compete with them, but
Yeah.
we're pushing hard to at least have the same quality and also like really just showcase our story because it's all different. Ascal is different, Surai is different, Takam is different. The way that they show their food is all different.
Yeah.
With us, the way I function is simple. I would retain the flavors of what it is you're eating,
Yeah.
but just really enhance the preparations of it.
Mhm.
But add on a little bit of like oomph into it. Just make it a little bit fancier, I would say. Not even fancier. I would just say like make it look better. That way, when people see it, they're like, "Ooh!"
Just
Because
presentation.
You eat with your eyes first, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's how we do it. We always do like 7 or 4 courses.
Mhm.
So that way we have a lot more to play around.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like a flow of the night. So that way you can enjoy Filipino food, like how your mom would probably cook it if you're Filipino.
Mhm.
But it's just a little bit elevated in like the way it's presented, the flavors are controlled, and just because we're chefs, we tend to like make everything in a systemized workflow. Because I know from my mom's perspective, if I ask her for a recipe, just a little bit of this, put a little bit of that, I just, you know, just eyeball it, you know.
Yeah,
You can't
yeah.
eyeball it in a professional kitchen. I mean, you can, but also like you won't because
You want
it's-
consistency
it won't
across
be-
service.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can be consistent, and your team will get confused. If you ask them to do something and they don't know how to do it,
Yeah.
you don't have the recipe for it, you're screwed.
So tell me about your flavors of freedom. So that's you had your friends, your chef friends there together and celebrating Filipino Independence Day.
Yeah. So we had 2 nights. Our first night was with me, Chef Lau, and Chef Jack
Yeah.
with Epoca. That's with Palay. And then the second day was with Chef Morris, Chef Michael, Chef Princess, and Chef. Oh my God, I forgot his name. Oop. I know the last name, which is really bad.
Go for it.
Nakua. Chef Nakua. I'm so sorry, don't kill me. But yeah, no, it was 2 nights. So first night was only the 3 of us, and then the second night it was at least 6 of them
Yeah.
for that night. And the way that it functioned was it's both 6 courses for the night.
Yeah.
And we were selling it different ticket prices and different produces as well, different dishes for
Yeah.
the 2 nights. And it was really fun. I think Chef Lau and Chef Jack were one of the nicest chefs I've ever worked at, knowing that they're celebrities as well.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
is, usually with celebrities, you always tend to be like cautious, I would say.
Right.
Because I would assume they would have a massive ego. Like, that's what it is. Like for me,
You assume that's why you assume
I would assume.
due to their big profile. That's all.
Yeah, because like I've dealt with other like celebrities,
Yeah.
like chefs, and some of them are not nice, but it's okay. I won't say who it is. They're just not as accommodating or anything, and there's just a different expectation overall. But this one was pretty nice, and then we did it for I remember like I was in Korea prior to that, so I was promoting it from Korea.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was like a lot of push. It was a lot of learning curve as well, because you get to network essentially and getting to know these people from the Philippines. It's also like really intimidating because like knowing that I've only seen Chef Lau on the TV screen when I was young.
Right. Really?
When I was younger,
Uh-huh.
when MasterChef was on. I can't remember when it was, but I do know I probably was in either like elementary or in high school. that says a lot.
No, but what an amazing feeling, because you're working shoulder to shoulder with some of your cooking heroes as you grow up as a kid.
Well, the thing is, like, they were one of the people that push for, like, modern Filipino cuisine in the Philippines. They opened a Filipino fine dining restaurant then. I wasn't able to dine into it because, like, I was young. Also, like, it has to be, like, my parents saying yes to it first. I can barely ask my parents to buy me, like, candy, let alone make them eat in a fine dining restaurant, right?
Yeah.
So, so that's a separate story. But, I'm just, like, grateful for the experience, I think. And really, like, the whole event actually came together because of Rain. And she basically asked me if I can be part of it too. I was honored to be part of it, also helping out a friend too. And Palay at the time was already going in a good trajectory. We just got published by Broadsheet, basically. And we were doing quite well in terms of, like, people getting to know us and knowing more about Palay, knowing more about me as well, which is really weird. Honestly, it's just a weird feeling. Because usually I would highlight other people.
Yeah.
That's the way Barangay functions. Like, I would highlight, like, different performers, different brands of food, and then including myself into it. But it's not just about me. Whereas Palay is a lot about me personally. And it's a weird feeling. Because I wouldn't really think it was going to happen, When you're a chef in Melbourne, you just tend to, like, do what the company tells you or what your boss tells you, and just do the work. I usually tend to, like, break out of that.
So it's scary to stand out then
And
receive the spotlight.
a little bit. I think it depends on how you perceive it. I'm more like, it's just an unusual feeling.
Okay.
I think to be on a spotlight, to be, like, on people's magnifying glass, there's a lot of pressure that comes into it. You want to be perfect enough for people to appreciate what you're doing, but then you don't want to be overly trying to, like, analyze yourself with every single thing, or else I won't be able to finish anything. So what I always do is, like, if it's 90% all right, go.
Yeah.
Because if I can't make it to 95 to 100 and it's taking me this long to think about it, good luck to me. And time progresses really
Precious,
fast.
yeah.
And you also, when you procrastinate, right, like, it goes away. Like, one day you're just like, it's already nighttime.
Yeah.
Like, crap, I haven't finished this, right?
Yeah.
So I tend to, like, do that. Just keep doing it because I'm a doer. Why does it sound dirty in my head?
So I find that fascinating, your journey from Barangay into Palay, and then focusing and elevating the cuisine and the community that you've built along the way and working with your heroes. That's really incredible. But one other thing that OKIRU, Jasper and I participated in was the mental health for the Filipino Chefs Association event.
Yes.
But what that really magnified for me was the experiences of a young chef working in a kitchen. And the kitchen's a hot place. The heat is turned right up.
Yeah.
Right? How is mental health for chefs and those working in the hospitality industry then?
If I'm gonna say it right. It's pretty shit. It's not the best.
Yeah.
Like, I would say it's the same thing for any industry in the world. But if it's in the service industry, so you put it in the sense of retails, hospitals, hospitality, anything that requires you to interact with people is pretty horrible. Because we live in a world where we feel privileged enough to always say something. Like, if you buy it, you feel like you have power over those people, which is a horrible way to see it. Like, even I would be like, okay, I bought this ticket, and then they got it delayed, and blah, blah, blah. And I feel entitled to, say it. But then sometimes I would pull myself back and say, hey, hold on. Check first if it's within your actual rights. If you think that you could actually, like, say something politely, say it politely.
Okay.
Because it's about being kind. It's about being just really trying to put yourself in the shoes of those people, because, like, at the end of the day, they're human beings.
Yeah.
They might be shit to you, sure, but still, like, why are they like that? Why are they struggling? Why are they being rude? There's a lot of things that people don't know about other people. Hence, like, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it, right? But if you're gonna say something constructive, say it constructively. Because I know for a fact that some people would send me an email, and really polite email.
Yeah.
They would say they're disappointed about the experiences they've had, let's say on one of my pop-ups, but they would say it in a polite manner and give me like points, blow by blow, in the hopes that I could fix it.
Yeah.
Because they still believe that this could go somewhere. But sometimes people are not like that, and people would just, say what they want, and they don't know how much that hurt to other people. Because like personally for me, if someone says things horribly about like what I do, I would be a bull, and like I'll feel horrible for the rest of the day. It will carry me throughout maybe a week or maybe a few days, and then I'll like really close myself up. Because it's hard.
Yeah, of course.
When you show yourself to the world, and as I said, you're in a magnifying glass, it burns a lot more.
Yeah.
Like imagine the heat of it all.
Yeah.
And you're just there, you're just taking it because you have no choice but to take it. You chose to be in that thing. But being kind has a long way to go, because people don't know how to be kind straight away.
Yeah.
And again, it comes from the privilege of knowing that they can say that because they feel like they deserve to say that. But mental health in general has been like an ongoing battle for us chefs, and for me personally. Hence the mental health Kalma came to be, because I want to have an event where we come in, we feel safe, we give you good comforting food, we give you like a relaxing way to like perceive an event.
Yeah.
It's not just about like, oh, we're just gonna sell you beautiful candles. We're not just gonna do you one thing, but we want you to feel nourished at the end of it.
Yeah.
And know that you're not alone. Which is always, it's cliche because you always say that you're not alone. It is true. You're not alone in the battle. If you think that you're the only one fighting this kind of level of like mental health problems, you're not the only one. Like for me, I have a lot of severe anxiety, but I need it as well to function. So I need a level of anxiety, but sometimes it goes way too high. That it's bad. It's really bad for you.
So how do you dance that dance with your level of functioning, with your anxiety, when you're putting yourself so vulnerable on the stage, right? In terms of Palay and Barangay, Palay especially, where that's you, that's your life and your blood in front of everyone. You're showcasing it, right? And I can understand why words hurt, because you're putting your life and soul out there for people, and they do feel entitled because they've paid some money, they bought a ticket, and they can, everyone's got a taste, right? You put food in your mouth, they can judge it by their taste.
There's a lot of like ways to it. Like I would break down the entire event, but also like I would say feel the feels.
Yeah.
I guess I have to feel the feelings. And then when I feel like I'm already a bit away from it, then I dissect it, and then I improve upon it. Because at the end of the day, if someone tells me that I'm horrible one day, and I said to myself, you know what? I don't want to say it. I almost said it. I did say it a while ago, but it's like, this one's going to be too parting and it's like too much. Anyways, I would say, fudge this something, I'm going to quit. I'm going to move on. I'm not going to be a chef anymore. I'm not going to cook. Right. I'm just going to stop doing food. If I said that to myself, I would like remove 13 years of hard work to be on this level. Yeah. And it'll be quite disappointing. So I would have to feel it, go through it, improve, listen to what they are saying. Because like at the end of the day, some bits are true. And you can't really just say, oh, you just didn't have the taste buffer. No, that's not the case. Yeah. Were you good that night? Do you think that you did well? Is the service great? Were the team were everyone in sync? Yeah. Probably not. But you can just improve. That's all you can do. And even then, the owner of Epoca, Angie, told me, this is good. Because you're not even open yet. You're not even a full restaurant yet. Yeah. So the pop-ups are a good way to test the market. Yeah. And also to really like understand our brand identity as Palay. Because I know it's Filipino, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. But do I know how we want the service to be A little bit, yes. I'm seeing it clearly. After like one of our nights, it wasn't that great. I must admit, there was like a lot of like communication errors between the front and the back. And if the front is blind, the back is blackout. We have no way to know who's sitting down. We don't know which
Right.
table needs this food if no one's communicating with us.
Yeah.
So that happened, but we moved on from it. And the recent one, not a lot of people came in, but it was a good amount of people. And we improved upon the service that we were giving.
Yeah.
We were explaining things even better. And the comments that are important to me, especially if you're Filipino, is
Yeah.
like, this tastes like how we would eat food.
Tastes like home.
Tastes like home. It tastes like home.
Yeah.
But not in like a, oh, it's cheap or like it's watered down kind of way, because people would always assume if Filipino food is going to be watered down to increase the food quantity. Because usually
Right.
it's like in a bain-marie setup.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this one's a bit more on the pure end, but it just looks different. And then people will say it tastes like home. It makes, that makes it worth it for me.
Yeah.
I could have one customer and tells me that it's great. I'm just going to be like, yes, I can keep going.
Yep.
On that alone to begin with.
Yeah.
And you just continue, and that is why I keep doing it. And I'll still keep doing it. I will take a break here and there because, like, it is a lot of work. And it takes a lot of mental and physical toll on me as well, and emotional toll on me as
Of
well.
course,
So,
yeah.
taking a break is essential for your mental health.
So the thing with being a chef is that it's not all about the food, right? Because you're also worrying about service, how that looks at front of house, back of house, all that cohesiveness and in perfect harmony to get it in the back of the kitchen onto the plate of the customer themselves. How do you organize all of that in perfect harmony?
Well, the thing is, like, I think on my case, because I started doing my own side business with Barangay and Palay, where it's really like me entirely controlling the spec. It's not just a kitchen
End to
anymore.
end, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not like in the kitchen. There's a separate front of house manager taking care of the front for me. I'm taking care of both. So it's really staffing and also trusting your team, having a lot of like time to brief. Sometimes things happen, like
Yeah.
people will get sick, people will be late because of this, and you really have to like run with it. But at least have the bones, because like most of the time the people that I've worked with are people that I've had since the beginning. So I would have, let's say, Arjun, which was my sommelier and bartender and slash waiter as well. He was with me from the very beginning, and I have Ashley as well, who's been a waiter for me, for my private chefs, and
Yeah.
also like barangay in general. So she would know how the flow of it as well. And it's like good banter with people
Yeah.
that they have enough experience to like go out there and know what to do. And even Elliot helps out a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful that he's really supportive of this as well, because at the end of the day, I need that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I would wake up and I would feel like, can I do it?
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, please just give me a little bit of strength, and I will have like a laser focus scenario where I'm just like, my goal is to get this done, finish it at this time, and then really push. So that way I can go home and rest.
Yeah.
Because at the end of it, you're the one cleaning, you're the one packing down. You're doing everything. So
Yeah.
you want to be mindful of the timing of it all. But yeah, it's all about just really preparing it completely, having enough people to understand it, and then laying down all the information as much as you can. And sometimes it's really hard, but you have to, or else it goes dead.
But it sounds like the highs are very high, but the lows,
It always is.
the lows are low as well, right? And in the case of you wanting to give up cooking and quit being a chef, I know it sounds dramatic, but sometimes it feels you're burning so much, you're hurting so much that it's easier to run away, isn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah, well, the thing is that you get to a point where the industry itself, the hospitality industry, is unforgiving.
Okay.
I think that's what it truly is. They don't appreciate you enough as a person, as a creative or as even just like someone part of this thing. They always like, hospitality always say, oh, be part of the family. Every time someone says we're going to be part of the family, you don't treat family that way.
Yeah.
Also, you don't pay your family. So that's that's a separate thing. I would say it's a better way to say be part of a team.
Yeah.
Team to me is like my go-to. I don't say staff.
Okay.
I always
Yeah.
say team. Because to me, that makes it like, we're all in this together. When you say staff, it feels like you're just singling out people and you're just above them. Truly, you're never above anybody. You're just doing a different role.
Okay.
Everybody has a role to play.
Yeah.
And that way, it just works. As you said, perfect harmony, right? If I'm playing the role of the manager, I'm just laying down, you're the waiter, you're the bartender, you're cooking this, you're making this, you're
Yeah.
washing this. And you're just doing that in synchrony, and you're communicating. So at the end of the day, you're able to communicate that, and people just respond to it.
So how about the culture in your team then? What philosophies do you instill to your team to make sure it's all in balance, in harmony?
I try to tell them to have fun, and also do not think of the mistakes too much.
Okay.
If we made a mistake, we talk about it. All right, what happened? What needs to be fixed? Do I need to go out? Let's just move ahead to solution, because I've worked in an industry where most of the people I work with are like really, they would just really like say a lot of different things. For 20 minutes straight, you're getting yelled at for one thing.
Right.
And hence the mental health of chefs are horrible. And, you want to, people burn out because you go home, you feel so tired. So I try to not do that for my team. I tell them, hey, this is not your restaurant. This is not what we've all worked in. Let's make this fun.
Yeah.
If there's a problem, we talk about it, we fix it. Let's try to move past. Because that's all we can do. You can't really just stay in one problem and talk about it for 30 minutes. You're not being productive. You're wasting everyone's time, including your guests.
Yeah.
So you just move past it and then make it happen. And then whatever the result of that is, whether it's good or bad, at least you're finished with that thing. And then just, again, dissect the thing and then learn from those things.
Yeah.
So that way we don't have to do that again,
So if you weren't cooking, if you were to quit, what would you be doing?
I actually don't know. I've thought about it because I think I want a role that's overly creative. Like something that I could create brands or create visuals and stuff. I don't know if I'm good enough for it. I think that I can think about it and then work around it. Because with Palay and Barangay, I've always been the one who's like just driving the visuals. I know what I want. I know what I need for this ones. And I just talk to the people who are creative enough to understand what I'm going for. And then it just shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, something creative, I reckon. I don't think I can do a full office job. I think I would die. I don't think I can focus enough. If I'm going to do Excel sheets for like the 8 hours of thing, I will be like, you'll see like snacks everywhere. You'll see me like with a bunch of snacks just burning up because I need a lot of like something to eat because my brain juice is just depleting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm just really like, I just like running around. I think I would be like, a set stylist. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think so.
No, so it means, look, you've got taste, right? You've got taste in your fashion, in the visuals in terms of aesthetic of Palay and Barangay. It's beautiful the way you've set it out. It really is incredible.
Oh.
So what's influenced your taste over the years then?
Oh, that's a good question. I had never thought about it. I think taste level, I would say, because I started as a pastry chef to begin with. So with pastry, you're not really allowed to make a lot of mistakes because mistakes means that you have to start everything from the very beginning. When you're measuring things, it needs to be almost close to the thing. There's just like, you say 5 gram, 3 grams kind of exception.
Yeah.
So it doesn't change the texture, doesn't change the quality of the stuff. But as much as possible, you want to be on the exact thing. And with pastry, you have to always bring out the final product as beautiful as you want it to be.
Yeah.
I think that kind of like gave me that, oh, okay, I can do that too with savory food, and I can do that to myself. And it's a learning curve. Like my style has evolved from a teen to, I would say, an adult man, but I also feel like I'm not an adult. I'm adulting, yes. I'm paying bills and stuff, but I don't feel truly.
Paying bills, yeah.
I don't feel like much of an adult completely. I was
Yeah.
playing Zelda like yesterday. I mean, today, before going to the podcast, I was like, I was just building a home in the game. But that's me, like,
Yeah.
that's just it. But I've always had like a certain level of like how I want things presented, because at the end of the day, again, you see it with your eyes and then you get interested in it, right?
Yeah.
So to me, that's a visual spectacle. I want people to see it and then understand it, and also be curious, ask questions, press this. And yeah, aesthetic wise, I think it started with being a pastry chef, and then as I go along the way, I started wanting to dress myself a little bit better, because most of the time I barely have time to like actually go out. And if I go out, I want to look presentable.
Yeah.
Because it's either I'm wearing like my black pants, black shirt or white shirt, and my kitchen shoes.
Yeah.
And my chef's jacket
Okay.
and apron. Most of the time, that's just my usual uniform. And that never changes unless, like, I'm asked to go out for a party. Even partying is tiring at the moment.
So it's interesting about you starting off as a pastry chef and saying how precise you have to be, right? So there's an unreleased episode of us making bread. Handesal.
So, as you could tell and as you remember, it's going to be like a lot of things. But, it's a fun episode. Yeah, but bread, you'll see like how it's made and everything. But, you always have to have a starting point. For me, that was it. Being a pastry chef was my starting point.
Yeah.
Wanted to be a good pastry chef. I was able to do it for a while. And then I got an opportunity to like be a head chef at 21. So I was like, I'll take it. And then it just allowed a lot of creative freedom to do everything. And then I was like, okay, I'll run with it. And I learned a lot of how to do my management techniques, my cooking techniques, and how I present myself to people professionally as well. So, but then still be me, because I'm always laughing.
No, that's
most of the
good.
time.
It's fun sharing the kitchen with you and dishes and dialogue, right?
Or
So
is
there'll
it?
be there's a lot more fun coming, that's for sure. And look, it was beautiful just to sit down and just have a chat about all things and the journey again to date. Right? We've done this before.
We've done this before. Poison.
We just have to input that into the snippet as well. Poison.
Poison part 2 without the actual poison.
So when we end up our podcast, we ask our 3 questions, right? And it's the cornerstone of our live events and our pop-ups and our experiences as well. So the first question is, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for the warmth in the house with the heater at the moment, because it's winter. It's so cold.
Yeah.
And just being able to like, not freeze to death. That's really pretty much it. I don't like winter. I'm a summer boy.
Yeah.
I like the heat.
Well, you're Filipino, right?
Yeah.
You live in a tropical place.
Well, you've been
all
to
year
the
round.
Philippines, so you should know.
It's warm there. It's beautiful.
It's warm. Yes, exactly.
But you sweat a lot.
Well, it's humid, so pretty much.
The second question is, what have you realized?
Ooh, I realized that I could do a lot of different things as long as I put my mind into it. I think throughout the time, as long as I'm committed, it happens. Dishes and dialogue happen. Palay happened.
Yeah.
And now I'm making my book. Ooh, who said that? I'm typing one page. It's not even that long.
Oh, you're writing.
Yeah, writing, which is hard. I need a lot of focus to make.
All right, get your snacks ready, right?
Oh, trust me, all the snacks are gone on one page.
Yeah. And third question and last one is, what is a question that you ask yourself?
What can you improve on? Because like you don't want to get stuck in one thing. You want to learn new things. And right now I'm actually learning how to put together presentations, like pitch decks and whatnot, how to present it to people. I don't know where it's going to take me, but it's been helpful for getting sponsors or like getting people to understand my branding or my brands in general. So I'm learning that more like a digital digital like stuff, and learning how to write again.
Yeah.
Because it's very different when you're writing a thesis compared to like writing a book.
Yeah.
So I'm learning how to like put myself in that thing, because like I wanted when people read it, especially if you guys read it, you'll be like, yeah, that's pretty much Fred. I'm confused where he's going.
Yeah.
But he went there anyways. He got to the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I want people to like to find peace in the chaos that I make, which
Beautiful.
is really funny.
So where do people find your work then?
In terms of like socials, are we talking about social?
Yeah.
I think most of the time it's on Instagram anyways. Like I think if you go to @Chef Fred with an H, so FHRED, you'll see most of my work there. You'll see dishes, you'll see Palay, you'll see Barangay, you'll see OKIRU there too, from time to time, if they'll have me. I'll think about it. Actually, I have access to their account. I can hack it. It's okay. I just have everything. It's okay. I'll just say, oh, yeah, chef, thank you for coming. But I'm the one responding to myself.
Yeah.
Smart.
Well, look, it was so beautiful to have you on. Welcome back to OKIRU, our new season of the podcast as well.
Merch.
And so we'll catch you all on the airwaves very soon. And thank you to Chef Fred. Peace out.
Thank you for having me, guys. Hello.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.